A team of UN experts is gathering evidence of the atrocities committed by members of the Islamic State group in Iraq almost a decade ago. It's alleged the jihadists used chemical weapons in an attack on the town of Taza Hormata, a Shia Turkmen town south of Kirkuk. The group seized about a third of the country back in 2014. To talk more about that, we're joined by independent commentator Dr. Nasir Al-Omari. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Al-Omari. What do we know exactly about what happened in this town, Taza Hormata, back in Iraq, back in 2014?
Well, thank you for having me. Well, we know that that town was attacked and about 6,000 people were injured and a few children died. And that was established back then. This is one of many incidents where ISIS was believed to have used chemical weapons. The United Nations, international community wants to establish these facts because there are political and legal ramifications that depend on digitizing and preserving the evidence. And that is what the United Nations, what the UN Special Envoy to Iraq is trying to establish.
Right, but what exactly can the UN do with this information? Because we know more than one ISIS leader has been wiped out by a Western-led drone strike. I mean, who would be brought to justice for these crimes?
Well, there are elements of ISIS who live outside of Iraq. There are many of them who still live at large in northeastern Syria. And the international community wants to bring those people to justice. However, the local Iraqi courts have no jurisdiction over Syria or even other countries, Western countries, where these ISIS members may have been involved in terrorism or are still involved in leading or guiding terrorism. And therefore, the Iraqi government is trying to establish a framework, a legal framework, through which they can address the international community to pursue these people and bring them to justice. Additionally, there are financial ramifications that have resulted from ISIS controlling Iraq and Syria for a long period of time. So the international community wants to work with the Iraqi government to digitize and to control and to make sure that ISIS is actually held accountable for the crimes that it committed in Iraq.
And the Saudi foreign minister today talked about plans to stop a resurgence of ISIS in Iraq. Would you say the Saudis have a credible plan to deal with the problem?
Well, the U.S. and the Saudis have put up money, and they understand that without stabilizing Iraq and stabilizing Syria, ISIS will return. And that is one of the things that Mr. Blinken emphasized in his trip to Saudi Arabia. They actually announced aid to Syria and Iraq to make sure that ISIS does not return to Iraq the way it did a few years ago.
Nasir Al-Omari, thank you very much.